Welcome to Still a Mother. I'm so glad that you're here. This is a Mother's Day remembrance gathering for mothers whose children are no longer living. We're gathering the evening before Mother's Day for a reason, before all the noise sets in, before the world names what the day means for us, and to create a space where motherhood is being honored in a way that is not normally seen. And so there's nothing for you to do right now. Just arrive. Just arrive as you are. And before anything else, I want to clearly say you're welcome exactly as you are. Have your camera on, your camera off. You can be silent. You can participate. You can be still, numb, emotional, tender. You can feel unsure, maybe distracted, or you can be fully present. There's no right way to be here. This space is not a space that asks you to perform, especially to perform healing. And it's not a space that asks you to explain your grief. And it's not a space that's designed to make you feel easier on Mother's Day. It's a space of remembrance. It's a space of witness. It's a space where your motherhood doesn't need to be explained in order to be acknowledged. So we're gathering on this day because sometimes support is needed before the actual day arrives itself, because Mother's Day can carry a lot of emotions. And when the world turns towards celebration, it might not always know how to hold the mothers whose children are no longer physically here. So tonight is not here to change tomorrow. It's here to offer a place before tomorrow arrives. And before we go further, I want to offer a simple optional check in for you so that you can do a check in on yourself and see how you feel. So, nothing really to do, but a simple poll that asks, what does Mother's Day most often hold for you now? Especially if this is your first Mother's Day after the passing of your child. Does it hold love, grief, or maybe both at the same time? It could potentially hold something that you can't fully name in this moment. So that's something to reflect upon as we start here. And there's no need to announce what it is that you're feeling. No need to type it in the chat. This is just something for you to hold right now. And thank you for participating. And what this reminds us is that Mother's Day doesn't necessarily hold one thing. And that brings us to the truth that sent us here tonight, that motherhood doesn't end when a child passes. It changes form, though. It does become quieter, it becomes more internal, and it's definitely something that's less visible to others. So it lives on in a memory, it lives on in the body, it lives on in special dates and in a name and in a way that we might hear a song, a season of the year, a smell, or a moment returns to you that brings you back to something that no one else can fully see. But it doesn't end. The bond doesn't need to be visible in order to be real. And your motherhood doesn't need to be recognized publicly in order for it to be true, in order for it to remain true. The love endures and memory keeps the bond alive. Motherhood now transcends the physical form. The love continues, and the love may even grow stronger. And this is a form of motherhood that we carry quietly, and not because it matters less, but because the world often doesn't know how to recognize what is not visible. It can only see what it is before them. It doesn't know how to celebrate the child that's not present, only the child that is present. And it doesn't always allow a form that it doesn't understand. It doesn't know what to do with the child who is remembered, the child whose name may or may not be spoken, and it's the child whose absence is still present, and the child whose life continues to shape the mother who remains. So tonight, that motherhood is not invisible here, and you don't need to prove it. You don't need to explain it. You are simply still a mother. So, before we go even further, I just want to say that this is something for me that's experiential, and not as a personal story that takes us away from why we're here, but as a concept for how the space is being held. I didn't come to this work because everything in me was already aligned. I came to it because I knew what it felt like to keep moving forward while my body was still trying to find its way back to a signal of balance. And that experience formed how I shaped this space. And this, so there's no expectation here, and there's no need to organize your experience into something neat. There's no pressure to feel peaceful, to be strong, or to open up about this. It's just a space that exists because some things can't be forced forward. They just have to be given room. And that's what this space is. So tonight is simple. We're going to take a few moments to arrive. We'll name what Mother's Day can hold, and we'll enter a guided remembrance. So there'll be an optional moment where you can honor your child, and then we'll close gently. And again, you can participate in any way that you choose. If you want to speak, you can open up the mic. We'll allow time for that to speak. You can remain silent, or you can write something down privately, or you could just simply listen. Nothing is required of your presence. So, what I would like to also state is what this space is not. It's not grief therapy. It's not a space where we are going to trauma bond. It's not a space where you have to feel okay. It's not a space where loss has to be made neat and tidy. And it's not a space where love will be separated from grief, because all emotions can come together. For many for many mothers, they're not separate. You get love and joy and grief and all of it together. So the focus is also not on the details of the loss. That's really important. The focus is on honoring the continuing reality of motherhood with choice, with privacy, and emotional safety. No one is asked to share their story, and no one is asked to disclose what happened. You're not going to be asked to make your grief public, just to simply be present in a space that honors grief without organizing the trauma around it. So you may wish to name what it is that you're feeling, again, to take it to a deeper level. Before we move into remembrance, let's simply name what may be here. Because there may be love, it may be grief, there may be memory, and there may be a longing Or it may just be a space of silence or tenderness or numbness. There may be anger, and there may be confusion, and there may be nothing at all that you're feeling at the moment. We allow space for any and all of that. You may feel close to your child tonight. You may feel far away, and at points you may feel both. But nothing about that makes your bond less real. Nothing about that makes your motherhood less true. So, again, there's no right or wrong way for this to land. Just give yourself permission to feel and be free in this space. But you don't have to feel something specific, and you don't have to remember in a particular way. There's no need to shed tears, but if that's what you're feeling, feel free to do so. You're giving yourself self permission to express whatever it is that you may be feeling. So you don't have to be composed, and you don't have to make a meaning of it. You don't have to do anything other than to just feel what you feel. That's enough. So now, before we move into remembrance, I want to take a few moments to make room for what is already there through a meditation. So, again, no need to change how you're sitting or what you're doing, or any need to calm down. It's just a need to let your body arrive before asking anything else of it, so that you can pause and notice and allow some space for whatever is coming up for you in this time. So I'm going to grab the meditation and I ask you to just relax and get into a space of allowing what it is that is here. So take a moment as you are. Let your body arrive before you ask anything of it. And notice what's present: the love, the grief, the memory, the longing, the silence, the tenderness, the numbness, or something that you cannot quite name. And don't try to change it. Just notice and ask yourself, can there be room for this? Not approval, not agreement, not understanding, just room. Let what is here be without becoming the whole space. Silently say, this is here, and it's not all that is here. And pause, not to think, not to explain, not to make meaning. Pause so what is moving through you can have a little more room to settle. Now, gently make contact with what is here now. Not the story around it, not what others know or don't know, not what this day is supposed to be, just the first true signal. What do you notice before you try to hold it together? Stay there for one breath, then another. If your attention moves towards your child, let it. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Nothing has to appear. Nothing has to be felt a certain way. The bond doesn't need performance in order to be real. And now ask quietly, what becomes clear when I stop trying to manage how I should feel? Don't reach for an answer. Let the answer only come if it comes without force. Maybe what becomes clear is that you need quiet. Or what becomes clear is that You want your child's name spoken. And maybe what becomes clear is that you're carrying more than you realized. Or maybe it's that love is still here. Or even simply that this moment can hold more than one thing. That's enough. Let yourself receive whatever access has returned. A little more breath, a little more room, a little more contact, a little more permission. And when you're ready, return from there. Not from pressure, not from the need to be okay, from the space within you that can hold love, grief, memory, and motherhood without asking any part of you to disappear. Take a moment now, as you are. Let your body re-arrive before you ask anything of it. And just notice, can there be room for this? Again, not approval, not agreement. Let what is here be here without becoming the whole space. And let's enter a moment of remembrance, where you can reflect on your loved one. This is a sacred pause. Notice what comes up. Is it their name, their voice, their face? Or is it a feeling? Or simply a truth that they are still part of you? And again, it's no right way to remember. If something comes up, let it come gently. If nothing comes forward, let that be okay too. The connection doesn't have to appear in a specific form in order to be real. Just pause and notice what meets you. You don't need to make it stay, whatever comes up. You don't need to explain it. Just allow the moment to be what it is. And silently, in your own way, you may say, "You are remembered. You are loved. You remain a part of me." And pause. Take another breath here. And when you're ready, return your attention back to the room. And there's no need to leave the connection behind. The connection follows you wherever you go. The bond remains. Your connection to your child exists beyond words, beyond actions, beyond what others can see or realize. It lives in the quiet moments, in the memories held close, or in the love that continues to flow. Because love transcends physical presence and the connection remains unbroken. It's an eternal bond. So at this time, you can take a moment. We've done the internal remembrance. Here's an opportunity to do an external honoring so that you may wish to say your child's name. You may wish to express what it is that you're feeling towards them right now. Or you can just recognize the child in silence. And again, take the opportunity to recognize the bond. Sometimes the simple recognition that the bond is still here, even when it cannot be held in the same way, is all that we need to see. And thank you. Thank you for every name spoken, every name held silently, every feeling that came forward, every feeling that didn't. And know that nothing needs to be concluded here, because this space is not asking your grief to become something else. It's simply allowing your motherhood to be witnessed. And so return to this space and bring your awareness back. Notice the room around you. Notice how your body is supported if you're sitting on a chair. Notice how your breath is moving through your body. You may want to move your hands or your feet slightly, or let your eyes take in the space around you. And as we move forward into the day, there's no need to leave anything behind. You're not stepping away from your child. You're simply returning with a little more awareness of what is here now. And if you'd like to have this meditation, it will be made available in the YouTube link so that you can come back to it. The key thing is that you know that you don't have to carry this alone. And another tool that I have for you is if you are interested in going deeper, is a book called Whispers Across Realms. It helps you to remember, to reflect, to honor those bonds that are still there in different ways beyond the physical. And so now think about it as we come to a close. What's present for you now? Just begin by noticing what's present for you now. You may sense a connection, a softening, or an emotion that's come forward. Or you may find that you're just feeling a quiet peace, or again, something that you can't quite name. Notice your breath and notice your body. Notice what your heart holds. And as a final affirmation, remember, your motherhood is real. Your love remains. Your child is worthy of being remembered. You don't have to worry about what the world may or may not know or express about your motherhood. You know you will always remain still a mother. And I'll leave this slide up for a few moments with some relevant links about how you can contact me. There's no rush. I'd just like to thank you for being here once again.